So yeah, so you moved down to Florida in, you said November 2019?
Yeah, so fucking lucky. Because like Pittsburgh became a lockdown state right after that. And dude, I would have died. It would have killed me.
Oh, I totally get it, man.
I mean, it like with my ADHD, and we lived in an apartment too. Like now we have like we didn't have outdoor area, anything. With my ADHD and my anxiety and shit like that, it would have fucking killed me.
What part of Florida did you go to?
We're in Southwest Florida, Fort Myers, Cape Coral area.
Oh wow, dude, I was just down there.
Huh? Were you?
Yeah, I was just down there. Let's see, I guess it's been about 6 weeks. I've been down there twice actually to that area in the past year.
No shit.
Yeah, I didn't even know you were there. I was down in Cape Coral 6 weeks ago, roughly, and then we were down at Cape Coral in end of July of 2020.
Dude, so you just come down fairly often, or for a reason? Or?
Yeah, we just like that area, man. We just.
Dude, I fucking live in Cape Coral. I love it.
Dude, it's incredible.
Dude, did you go to downtown Cape Coral?
Yeah, we went downtown.
Did you go to Dixie
last time? What'd you say?
Did you go to Dixie Stampede or Dixie Roadhouse? It's the country line names and bar.
I'm pretty sure we were in that area because there were people out dancing like crazy.
Dude, it's such a people do not get how chill it is down here. Like it is nothing like on a Tuesday to see somebody walking down the street in a fucking pink tutu and nobody right next to bikers and they're like everybody's waving at each other and fucking like nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah, no, it was great, man. Everybody was super chill, super friendly. We had a blast. We took the kids down. We were down there for 2 weeks, so we should have met up, man. I had no idea.
Dude, I got a gym in my fucking garage.
Oh man, next time because we're gonna come back. I
actually just joined a local gym too, just to be getting out more.
Yeah, it was funny. I went to a local gym there. I got a 2-week membership at Anytime Fitness, and I walk in and the guy's like, "Hey, just so you know, you don't ever have to wear a mask here." And I was like, "Oh, well, that's good."
The only places we have trouble with down here with that is and I mean do trouble because it's like more dangerous for you to wear one. It just is. But anyway, it's been a year. Most of the bars and restaurants down here are not like that. I've been going to bars and restaurants since about a year ago. We've been open. That's why people wonder why I'm so cynical about this shit. Because I've lived in what for the most part was pre-COVID America since May. Chris, you know how it is when you're busy like we are. Like we get our groceries delivered anyway. Like it's just going to the grocery store for me is one, a huge time suck, but two, I am like ADHD and impulsive. So I buy shit that I don't fucking need all the goddamn time. So we ordered shit. Like we're in the middle of ordering shit right now for groceries. So I order it. I order exactly what I want. And then if I want to deviate from like my healthier version of food, that's when I go out, that's when I leave the fucking house, But you know how it is when you work mostly from home. Like my gym, we had to make sure I started getting out more. My gym was at home. You know what I mean? So there was not a reason to fucking leave at all. Like pool in the backyard, sunshine constantly. So we joined a gym, but I won't go fucking grocery shopping. But down here it's free, dude. I mean, it's freedom.
Yeah.
It's if anything, I feel freer. Like if anything, I feel more protected down here than I did when I first got here. Because our governor is saying, by the way, if rioters try to block the highway, don't stop. Like shit like that.
It's a totally different world down there. I mean, even up here in Virginia, which I always describe Virginia as like a gray area. It's very divided, I will say, but there's some freedoms and some not so free stuff. But it's very middle of the road up here.
Mm-hmm.
But going to Florida was like I went to Mars. I was like, oh my gosh! I had a great time. I was so happy to be there. I didn't want to leave. We actually started looking at real estate right away.
Yeah, we'll be neighbors. I'm going to stay around the idea. The idea is we're eventually going to build like a plantation, like what is not plantation? A horrible word to use, especially nowadays.
I was going to say
people hate me anyway, so I don't give a fuck. Yeah, people hate me anyway, but I don't know, like a compound.
Sure.
A house for us, a house for our kid, 100 acres. That's the fucking goal. And just down here, maybe 30 minutes away from any of the beach. Like the thing is, even if you're like 20 minutes inland, you're still only 30 minutes away from a beach.
Totally.
And it gets like 20 minutes inland gets really fucking country, really fucking quickly in Florida. It's like,
yeah,
massively redneck too. But
Yeah, we drove down to Florida in July of 2020. We flew down last time, but
Yeah.
the time before we drove it, man, I never driven through
Yeah, it's
Florida
beautiful.
itself like that. It was super country. I was shocked.
Yeah. You get way out there, dude. Next time you come down, we should go to this place called. I'm just shouting names out. I feel bad for these places I mentioned if they like don't want to ever be associated with me because people then send hate mail or whatever. But the Birmingham Blues Bar, dude, it was the fucking coolest thing. I'll send you a video of it when we get off. But like, we watched JJ Grey. I don't know if you're familiar who he is. He's keeping blues music alive. If you don't, JJ Grey and Monfro is his band name. If you don't know who he is, look him up. It's awesome music, right? And he was playing at the Birmingham Blues Bar, which is an outdoor venue to play blues at. And I mean, it's like the coolest fucking shit. Like this, the stage is set with everything like that. You can see the full moon right behind it through the stage to see this guy, like while he's performing. So it's so cool. And it's surrounded by swamp, like gators and shit. Like, so it's like, it's bluesy as fuck. We'll take it. There's tons of cool places down here to go. I love it down here. I'm never, ever. Because here's the thing. I already make money. So not for no amount of money. I'm never moving away from Florida again, ever.
Yeah. Hey, I'm with you, man. We're already, our plan is already to get down there. We had bought a house right before, like kind of when the
before all the craziness
starting. Yeah. So now we're like, okay, real estate's great where we are. So the plan is to start mapping out our vision to get down there. Right. Because
you'll be shocked. Everybody's so like, people are healthier down here, nicer. They don't give a fuck. Like, I mean, it's like downtown Cape Coral, like I said, is one of the neatest places to go because like you'll see like drag queens having dinner with like, bikers or rednecks. So like, it's like not a big deal. The one when we first moved down here, there's the country place I was talking about, Dixie. It was connected to like a drag queen bingo place. It's like that, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just this thing where people don't take life as seriously as other people, especially up north, because I came from up north too. I'm like this weird dichotomy because I grew up until I was like 18 in the north, and then I lived in the south, then I lived in the north again, and I lived in the south, and I lived in the north again, and I lived in the south. And I'm not going back. I just keep getting farther south every fucking time too.
Yeah, no, I totally feel you, man. We're right in that same boat, but I must say, man, you look a lot slimmer.
Oh, yeah.
Last time I saw you.
All in total, like I think my max weight was like around 265, 270.
Yeah.
Total when it was getting out of hand. And then the last I weighed in was just a couple weeks ago. It's like 188.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So because
I downsized muscle and everything this past year.
It's interesting because I've been seeing a lot of things obviously about health, but one thing in particular that I've picked up on over the past couple of years is, having too much muscle too isn't necessarily the healthiest thing, right?
Well, a BMI of 35 is a BMI of 35.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's what people need to grasp. Like, first of all, if you're at a healthy body fat range and your BMI is 35, you're either one of them in the top 0.0001 genetic anomalies of even people of descent to be bigger. Like,
sure.
Like you've got some, and this is not to be. It's 2020 and 20 and 21 are so fucking weird because you got to watch what you say so much. It's not to be racist, but if you're of like Samoan or Polynesian island descent, normally have thicker, broader shoulders, thicker, broader bones. And then even then, if you're 35 BMI, you're still a massive genetic outlier and or on something. You know what I mean?
Some things probably.
Yeah, that are unhealthy for you anyway.
Yeah.
To be that big and actually have it where your heart was designed to pump blood to somebody that big is very rare too. You know what I mean? Like, people, that's the thing that people don't understand is that like your heart's not even supposed to get bigger. Like, you don't want it to get bigger, and like it's strong enough. Like, you need to keep it strong by like just making sure it's worked, keep the fucking pipes clean, all sorts of shit like that. But like, you don't want your heart muscles to get bigger. Like, it's dumb. It's a sure way to death because your chest anyway. But if you have to pump blood to twice the body, it's blood to twice the fucking body. Like, no matter what. I've said it for years. Like, I find me a professional bodybuilder that claims to be healthy. None. Like they don't. And that's the thing. Like I hate that analogy too, where people are like, oh well, you're not talking about bodybuilders. Like one, yeah, I do. Like fucking, I've made videos that there's very little difference between Big Ramy and Tess Holiday. Very. And you say Big Ramy, I feel bad because he's like one of the only bodybuilders, like big bodybuilders I know. Like I don't keep track of that shit at all.
Yeah, I don't keep track of it either.
Me and Mark will talk about it occasionally. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. You know that, right? I have no idea who the fuck you're talking about, just so you know. So you're having him on later too, right? You're having Scrappy on, right?
I am. Yeah. Right after you, I'm going to give myself an hour break in between to kind of regroup between you two savages. But yeah.
The thing that me and him are doing a podcast together now, like a weekly.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And that's fucking, first of all, for anybody that's pissed off that I'm working with Mark Lobon or suck my big dick. For really, like, I mean, this past year taught me a shit ton. Like me and you can talk about this offline, but like, I don't have anything against other fitness professionals or other people, you know, that didn't speak up about this shit, because it's okay to be a coward. I don't hold it against you, you know, but like, if you're a fitness professional and you didn't see the data was being massively misrepresented last year at this time and didn't speak up, you know, I lost a lot of respect, you know, like, and I mean, that includes people I know, people I still consider that I like and are like that. Right. But I refuse to fucking, like, the lines are redrawn a little bit for me, a lot, you know, like,
big time, permanent.
Yeah, permanently, because a lot of people showed their true fucking colors. Like I was clicking on along, dude. Like I was in the fucking algorithm, right? You know, like I could have easily just fucking chosen the fucking, you know, follow suit, not mention it, not fucking say shit, keep, you know, keep doing whatever. And the fucked up thing is everybody I was normally talking about at that time, all them were either toting the fucking, the whole line of, you know, all the whole bullshit, or they were just ignoring it. Yep. You know, so I could have easily done that, gotten more popular, stayed in the fucking algorithm. But what the fuck, man? I would have never been able to look my kid in the fucking face. Totally. You know? And I don't, you know, again, I don't hold nothing against anybody that did it, but like me and Mark were, and this was the fucked up thing. Me and Mark started off as enemies, and that was my choice. Like it was when I was still doing roasting comedy, and I purposely went and fucked with him. And then, unfortunately, Mark said something like, he said something that really, for the scope of what, I'm sorry, my cat is my assistant, so she has to but he said something about, like, you know, my parents didn't love me enough to fix my teeth or something like that, right? Because I did. The thing is, my teeth are fucked up. I got hit in the face with a baseball bat. It happens, people. I'll get them fixed eventually, you know. But I'm not this pretty for no fucking reason. Like my whole head full of scars and shit like that. But he said that, like, while I was in the ICU waiting room for my mom, like the priest had been there earlier that day. We thought she was dying. You know what I mean? So when he said that, it like fucking, you know, like it just went all over me. Yeah. And like, even my wife says, like, wow, you really were mad at him. Like, she was like, because she watches all my videos, and she's like, she can tell when I'm like, I really don't fucking care. I'm just doing it for comedy's sake, or when like I'm upset. And she was like, you really mad. And now I look at it like he got way too much. Like I gave it to him way too fucking hard, you know, for what it was. Especially after, like, he was one of the only ones where he was like, all right. And I still fucking kept going, right? And then Real Weights Real Heroes came about, and I was like, fuck, you know, I'm going. You know, I'm gonna raise money. I don't give a fuck, you know. Sure. And through that communication, we kind of developed friendship. He told me, like, he was like, a lot of what you said about me was true. I needed somebody to fucking say it to me. Like, I like self-actualized people, you know, like, and I like people that can admit when they're wrong. So fucking, we were good friends for a while. Real Weights for Heroes 2 was about to happen, and I was helping him put it together and with that. And he had to back out of a fight with Casey Mitchell for tons of reasons, you know. And I don't even care about the backing out of the fight. I couldn't have cared less, but like, and canceling, I totally kind of understood too. But he, like, he did a video afterwards where he said, like, something like, you know, something that insult, like something about getting flight insurance. If you didn't get it, you should have, or something like that, right? And a bunch of people were flying in to see me, and they got pissed off, and it flew on me. So I was pissed, but like, you know, I just wanted to get on with shit, and I'm the type of person, like, once I've been friends with you, I'm not going to like go back and start doing roasting videos on you again, because we share. I'm a coach, right? So a lot of people don't understand this, real quick, because my ADHD takes over. But real quick, like, a lot of people don't understand, like, once I have a private conversation with somebody, like I coach somebody, I try really, really, really hard not to ever speak negatively about them ever again, because I coach people, you know. So if even if somebody were to fucking turn around and dog on me, that was a friend of mine, I try not to share anything because like I don't want anybody that would be coached by me thinking that I would share their information, because
Sure.
I do massive weight loss coaching, like meaning like my coaching is more for people that have eating disorders, binge eating, real bad relationship with food, sugar addiction, stuff like that, right?
Yep.
And it's a daily thing. We talk to them daily via our app, so it's like I would never want it gets very personal, you know.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want people to think that I would ever do that. So, and I think it's kind of a shitty thing to fucking do. But so I just didn't mention Mark again. And I started doing Sit Food for Sixes, which is like this charity event that I was doing for the same thing. I kept raising the money. So the people that were flying to see me just all changed their thing. Same day, same time, everyone like that, changed all their reservations to Pittsburgh, and we just did it there, right? So I just really haven't been following what he did. And the thing is, I still always respected Mark for being fucking genius when it comes to supplements and shit like that. But and then all of a sudden 2020 hits, and it's like April, and I start like thinking like, I'm seeing all this data. There's no way that everybody else in the fitness industry is not going to see all this data. And there's no more important time to tell people that they should get healthy, seeing all this data, you know, because we knew this was going to fucking crush morbidly obese people
Totally.
a year ago, right now, like a year ago. In fact, the video I'm going to put out today, which will probably get my YouTube channel deleted, talks about it. But and then nobody, like almost fucking nobody that I was at least watching at the time, fucking said shit, you know. Like, and then I start saying shit, and then you know, all of a sudden I start talking about actual fucking data, and I'm a conspiracy theorist, and I'm like, well, now I know, like I know, because I've watched people avoid the obesity topic for fucking ever.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I like even the fitness people. I know that the second they try to fucking label me and anything, they're out. Like all these motherfuckers are worrying about their fucking 3 body type quizzes and their fucking and all that bullshit. They're out. They're not speaking up. They're worried way more about their popularity. In fact, I saw a lot of people that I had a lot of respect for go full on woke and act like fucking masks were actually a fucking real thing that would somehow fucking help people. More than losing fucking weight, even, like, you know, like, so I lost a lot of respect for people, and the lines are redrawn. Like, I saw that Mark, like, people don't really like the YouTube world's weird. Like you're nothing to know, like you're a fucking nobody on YouTube, right? Because your channel's really fucking small, but yet you look on fucking Facebook and dude, I mean, you help thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people with a massive fucking outreach, you know?
Oh yeah, on Twitter I'm a big dog, but on YouTube I'm a peon.
Yeah, right. It's just weird. It's weird how the algorithm works, right?
Totally.
You know, and everything like that, right? So there are people they scramble to hold on to this popularity and shit like that. It's fucking amazing, you know? And to watch these guys go like full on woke just to hold on to that shit, like, god damn, like you like. So you stand behind gyms closing. That's the dumbest shit I've ever fucking heard. So you're standing behind us not going to beaches. Like, you know nothing that, like, you've reached, like, you literally know what your fucking ACE certification taught you, and you have done no other fucking research about how the human body works, health works, your immune system works, viruses, bacteria. Like, you either know nothing, you've either done no other work besides fucking getting lucky on a fucking multiple choice fucking, you know, personal training certificate. You know absolutely nothing beyond that because you don't realize how stupid this shit is, or you just know that shit and you're a sellout.
Yeah.
You
the
know?
Crazy thing is too, man, for guys like us, like I have receipts, right? I have receipts from March of 2020, as early as end of February, and April I was all about it. But I could have easily, and you could have too, and every online, including Mark, and anyone who sells supplements or even does anything online, our business benefited from gyms closing, from people being right. And so here I am, and here you are, and here's, you know, some other guys, not a lot, but some other guys saying, hey, look, you got to get healthy, dude. And closing gyms is like the last thing we want to do, especially when the data shows that people aren't even getting sick in gyms.
No.
It's absurd. It's some of the cleanest places you can go.
Yeah, I mean, that was my point. Like, clean up your sloppy shit anyway. It's like what shit's wiped down at gyms more often than any fucking place else. It's insane.
Sure.
And speaking on your topic, I wanted to finish this shit with Mark. Okay. So I saw that not only was Mark was he following me and he was liking he was sharing the content that I was trying to put out to because no matter what any of you are watching think of me, I was trying to help people last year.
Yeah.
I was trying to warn all you obese people that it's coming for you. Like you are not, you are at much higher risk than I am. You know, like no mask is going to save you. Like I could get this and just like, you know, and here's the thing: if I got it, I would likely very little notice because I supplement vitamin D like to 6,000 units a day.
Sure.
And I live in Florida. You know, like I watch out for my health. I went and did research. Okay, what do we need? Okay, vitamin D, zinc, magnesium. Shit, we need. These are the things that your immune system needs. Period. And physical fucking exercise, like keep your heart pumping. Fucking lose. And I looked at myself. I was like, you know what? I'm carrying about 175 pounds of lean mass at almost 50 fucking years old. This is stupid. You know, so I started looking at ways, and I was having trouble controlling my hunger with all the stress and all that too. So sure. I had a couple. I'm a binge eater, so I had a couple binge cycles. Where I was like, okay, we changed everything up. We went on a more like low glycemic. We just try to manage my hunger. Like it's like half keto, half intermittent fasting, half I eat whatever the fuck I want type thing. Right. But so I lost about. Like I said, I started this probably last year at this time probably about 224, 225. I weigh about 188 right now. Like I haven't weighed myself in a little while, but it's a combination of like for me right now, I think I'll probably lose weight because I'm on Yohimbine HCL. I'm testing out Yohimbine HCL and an appetite and a non-stimulant appetite suppressor we're coming out with. Like a non-stimulant patented ingredient, blah blah blah. And that's another thing I'll get with Mark. But anyway, I keep talking about Mark. My ADHD is taking us away. I see he's sharing my shit, right? And then I hadn't really read what he was doing because, like, again, like if I'm not going to talk to him, I'm not going to fucking bother. And I'm like, holy shit! Way back in fucking April last year, Mark is like, listen, with what's going on, take vitamin D, zinc, this. Like, I go on later. He's selling bands because at half the price where they're being sold anyplace else. Like. And I give away like 30,000 free workout programs. Like I know you did a bunch of free fucking shit too. Like it's at that point in time, it's time like, we see the money's staying or, in a decent equivalence, right? Mark was like killing it. Like Mark from like 600 and some percent, they were up. Like, so this man's actually speaking out against his own fucking interest now, and people do not understand, like it's not YouTube, Mark. Like that's why they think, oh, this channel's dead, blah 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 blah. It's like if in the supplement and fitness industry, it's Mark Lobliner. Totally. Like everybody, like the time for YouTube bullshit drama, you guys should set that shit to the side. When it comes to supplements, there's very few people that have anywhere close to the knowledge he has about how they work with the body and different ingredients. It's insane. Plus, he's an like he coaches people in real life. Like he's real, and he fucking risks pretty much everything. Could have gotten canceled and all sorts of shit to say the right thing. I'll back him 100% now. Period. And we reached out. Me and him talk every day. We're good friends now. Because the line's redrawn. Like Bradley Martin, I hated that motherfucker. I thought he was an arrogant piece of shit, fucking stupid stunt doing motherfucker. That he had both the power and water, like all like the fucking utility shut off at his gym because he refused to close. I saw huge fan. If I ever I'll never be out there. I'll never go out there.
Not to California.
Fuck that. It's a different country.
Yeah. It's absurd, man. And it's crazy because I believe at the end of the day that most high-level fitness guys knew the truth, but are too afraid to be canceled, right?
Yeah,
They're too afraid to lose all their fans and lose their money and stuff. I have two little boys, and of course I got to put food on the table. But I know, and this is where I'm sure you agree, like energy and just clarity in your mind will get you so much further, man.
Yeah.
Because when you're just like, dude, you don't have to agree with me, but I'm going to stand for the truth. That's where we based our whole business off anyway. We're called True Transformation, right? Like if I can't be truthful, I might as well just close my doors right now.
It was amazing. Like the whole bit of it, like even how like some other fitness people like tried to fucking negate shit. Like, well, Alan, because one of my catchphrases is "stay in your motherfucking lane," and people said it to me. Like I started talking about COVID, and people said it to me so fucking much, and I was just like, people, I wasn't born in YouTube. One, two, any personal trainer should be able to look at these fucking numbers, look at these statistics. Any person that takes like actually coaching seriously should be able to look at this shit and be able to fucking decipher it, because they literally say it. Just the media's telling you to not look at that, look at the scary headline, right? And so you absolutely should have been able to decipher it. And beyond all of that, before we did this, I was a healthcare executive for hundreds of facilities up and down the eastern United States. I've helped write disaster outbreak plans for whole counties, like Allegheny County, PA, like Rochester County, New York. Like it's, so this very, I would say that I'm like, this very much is my lane. They're like, yeah, but you're not a doctor. Like they would just keep moving the goalpost, right? Where I'm just like, but if I share New York City's numbers and I just tell you what the percentages are, that's just me doing fucking third grade math. So I'm definitely qualified to do that. But their numbers, New York City's numbers right now are telling you that if you're young and healthy, you are not in danger. We should not punish healthy people. When you lock with, like we use in our societies, we use isolation and restriction of movement as a fucking punishment.
Totally.
Like it's not meant to be healthy for you. It's a punishment, and we lock down healthy people. That inherently makes them less healthy, especially when you lock them indoors during a viral season for a new unknown pathogen, when we know that vitamin D is like the key to the immune system. And we also know that sunlight and ultraviolet light fractures viruses. It's just like, while my knowledge may be more extensive than other people about stuff like that at the beginning, nothing I said was not verified down to the source from the actual government source of information. Like when I would say, here's what the estimated IFR is, it's because the World Health Organization would say, we're estimating that, like I think it was, what was it, October? In October, the World Health Organization estimated both 1 million deaths and like 91 million total global, infections. Well, if you do that math, it's an infection fatality rate of 0.13. That's the flu. Right. I mean, they're telling you the information, like it's on their website, and we're still freaking out like this is the plague. And it's like, if anything, this is even without lifestyle issues, we would have never noticed this.
100%. Yeah.
The people need to get there. We would have never, like, if we were a healthy society, like if we didn't, I find it hilarious how people are kind of reducing it down. Like, well, these countries with less than 40% overweight had a tenth of the deaths. And they're like, oh my God, less than 40% overweight. How is that a fucking bad, like, how is that a hard yardstick? Like how less than 40% of your society overweight. Like, how is that hard? Like that should be a minimum, if you ask me. If that would reduce the death rate by 10 times, to a tenth of it, why is that not now the absolute goal? I mean, that is saving. We hear all the time, like 600,000 people have died from this person mismanaging or that person mismanaging or whatever. Well, how about 60 over the course of like now a fucking year and a half almost? Like it's common sense, people. Like, if this virus is mostly killing very elderly, and what people need to understand too, if 88% of people had 2 or more underlying conditions, and more people over the age of like 85 have died than under the age of 65, that means it's the only really around old, morbidly obese people for the most part too.
Correct.
Alan,
so my grandfather had COVID. He's 90.
Yep. Killed it, right?
And he just blew right through it, no problem.
Yeah.
Because he's not obese. Mm-hmm. And he did have some underlying health issues, but it wasn't in relation to this virus. So he had, hip replacement. He had a heart attack, but he's not diabetic. And
So for the hip replacement and heart attack, he walks daily, does he not?
he can't right now. He can't walk.
No, he can't walk. And he just had the hip replacement.
Just over the past 3 months, yeah.
Oh shit! No fucking kidding. So he just had a hip replacement. But before then, was he trying to walk, or did he stay active at all?
Yes, he walked daily, but he that's why I had the hip replacement. He couldn't walk anymore, so he was like, I got to get this done. But then he had COVID literally a month after his hip replacement.
Yeah. He's lucky it wasn't like closer, just to be real, because that still was an invasive surgery. But besides that, him trying to stay healthy, probably from trying to stay healthy from having the heart attack previously, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Like it just gotta. It's never. First of all, it just shows it's never too late. Ever. Totally. You know, never ever too late. And because here's the thing, even if you don't like fully recover, you're going to do better than what you did. And the problem, I think that's one of the things, and I mean, you do weight loss too and stuff like that. I think that's one of the things that holds people down. They realize they're not going to look. In their mind, they have a visual of how they're going to look, you know. And we're still so hung up on how important that is, right? Where you're never going to look like that. Like if I can tell you anything coming from a morbidly obese state, in your mind, the vision that you have when you are at the peak, like your finish line, it's not going to look like that. And the finish line's probably, it needs to be a little longer, you know, than what you think. Like, I don't know about you, but when I first started losing weight, I really thought I was going to be like 210 and fucking ripped. And I was very far away from that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I always tell people, look, however long you think it's going to take, double it at least. Maybe even triple it. Maybe even triple it, to be real, right? Because people are like, "Oh, I can get ripped in 90 days." I'm like, try a year. You know,
not even that. But why do you want to? Like, I mean, it's, the thing
never
is,
been ripped before. No, because if you had been, like I've been shredded to the bone. I never want to be shredded to the bone again.
You know,
it's really fun.
No, it's not. The first time I lost weight, I went down to like right where I'm at right now. Okay. But at the weight I'm at like right now, I looked much smaller than I don't know how it works, but I looked much smaller than I do right now. And two, I thought I was going to fucking die. I thought I was going to fucking die. I mean, like I was so food focused. I mean, it's part of it even fucked my hunger up even more, I think. But I dieted down normal bodybuilder way, basically, like Math and Willpower and stuff like that. And that was my book, Math and Willpower, you know? But that's why we moved on from that. Like willpower is a lot more than just willpower. It's an easy word to say, but then you have hormones and stuff like that. But first time was horrible. Right now, just through managing my hunger and stuff like that, I probably ended up like somewhere around 12, 13%. You know, I mean, I'm like thin skinned, but like I still got like a little bit, like I still got the little bit right here, you know, and like I still got a little bit of love handles. And since I was obese, I still got a little bit extra skin, like right down here, like the whole saggy nipple effect. But right now, I'm taking the dietary aid for appetite suppressant that we're developing. So my hunger's like off. You're like literally, for me, like that, I eat very low glycemic. So my hunger's like off. I just don't get hungry. I have to remind myself to eat. But I'm also taking about 20 milligrams of Yohimvine HCl, just because it's like clinically shown to see if I'm testing it to see if it just naturally reduces my body fat anymore. You know, so I'm not really changing anything else up by it except for that. You know, so we'll see. But if I get really shredded from that, where I'm still eating all the foods I like and I'm not really that concerned, that's a win. But I would guarantee that's the only fucking way that will ever happen again.
Yeah.
Ever.
Controlling your appetite is an interesting topic. I think a lot of the clients we work with, I would say almost 95% of them struggle with appetite control. So you mentioned the supplement, but what else are you doing to control your appetite? Like what are some
the dietary aid we're coming up with, like literally it's meant to help people just like get control, you know. It's not meant to be something that's being taken forever, because I'm not into that. Like I'm really not. And it's going to come with like on the website will be the free guide that we kind of set out. Like we were going to write we're writing another book, like Beyond Math and Willpower, the hunger management method. But we're also going to give away like the bullet points for the hunger management method. Like I've already posted them up a bunch of different places. It's on our Facebook page and all like that. It's just like bullet points to look out for. Like the first portion of the shit we did is like, I took a step back and looked at the basics. Hydration. Okay. Well, I was probably short about, hydration is a problem for me. Like, so it's a daily thing. We constantly try different methods. I try to get like 1.5 gallons a day. I live in Florida. I work out daily. And a gallon of water for me is, I'm still 190-pound man. You know, it's not like I'm small, right?
Sure.
In my mind, I'm very small. We'll get to that later. In my mind, I'm very small right now. But I feel much better anyway. But so we started looking for that. And then, okay, well, I'm getting old, so I don't want to be up every 5 hours pissing in the middle of the night. So I started front loading my my water. So I try to get 75% of my water by midday. Okay, every single day. It normally works out to about 75 to 90 ounces every day, right? And then that I don't eat breakfast because now, like most people understand, you wake up, you're more thirsty than hungry. People like you should absolutely start your day 20, 30 ounces of water. And then I go to, I start my day with 20 ounces of water, go to coffee, and then drink more water. So I'm full, you know, and I find it, I have more energy. I wake up because I'm not like triggering my glycemic index, right? So I'm still not hungry, right? I normally don't get hungry until like I'm cooking my food for my first meal, which is like between noon and 2. That meal is made up of something that I absolutely know will satiate me completely until what would be my next meal or for the day. So it's almost always like 12 to 16 ounces of beef or fatty fish. Like I don't eat chicken. I don't eat poultry. And that's not against anybody that does eat it, by the way. It's because I went to a poultry plant and I can't like fucking, I can't do it. Like it's
Can't
just
unsee what you saw.
I can't unsmell it. Like that's the bad thing.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah, it's
so you start.
And it's nothing. It's nothing against people that eat chicken. It's just
Sure.
And I'm sure it wasn't every plant that's like that. Like I don't want to be like, I'm just saying like the one I went to, for instance, when I used to work in healthcare and we did the plant inspection, it was not good.
Yeah.
So that meal satiates me. The way I test that is like, even if you don't want to do that meal, I will eat my first meal, and after every meal for a while, I wrote down what it was or I took a picture of it, and then 2 hours after I would see, like, check my satiation level. Like 0 is I have no satiation. You could put like my binge trigger in front of me and I probably won't eat it. I'm totally fucking stuffed. My favorite food in the world, I couldn't eat a bite of it. Or 10, if you put the thing I hate the most in the world topped with the worst thing in the world that I hate, I'd still eat it because I'll starve, right? So if you're hungry 2 hours after you have a substantial portion of food, you need to ask yourself why. First of all, was it a substantial portion of food? Okay. If it was anywhere from 33 to 50% of your normal caloric intake for the day, I would say that's a substantial meal, right? If you're hungry 2 hours afterwards, something you ate at that meal has triggered your glycemic response because you still should be satiated. You know, I mean, it's just, that's how it works, you know? And the only possible difference in that is like for people, like when people say, well, I'm against carbs, I'm absolutely not. I eat them later on in the day. But that meal, I want to satiate me until my evening meal, right? So now I've been full or satiated and completely content, and I've liked everything I've had all day long. You know, that's important because now I like it. Now it's not a chore. Now it's like something I want to do. Like, fuck, I'll eat steak every day. You know, and everybody's like, oh my God, your cholesterol. Trust me, my cholesterol is going to be better eating steak every day at 188 pounds than what I was doing at 270. You know, like it's fucking, trust me, way the fuck better. And I eat fiber later on or like that. My evening meal is normally composed of like protein, basically the size of my fist, vegetables the size of my 2 fists put together. And then if I do a starch, it's normally like that size or bigger, maybe a 5.5-inch sweet potato. And what I've been doing lately, just because my portion sizes were so skewed from eating bigger, like, you did the same thing I did. You tried to eat big,
Yeah,
you get big, right? So the portion size thing is something fucked up too, because we think a portion of food is when we were bigger, right? So I did this thing for a while where I'd eat 75% of my evening meal. And then if I was still hungry 15, 20 minutes after I stopped that, I would eat the rest of it. And if I'm not, I'd save it. And then if I was hungry later, I'd eat it later instead of a snack later, right? But if I got to the point where the portion filled me and I was good, until like I decided to have like maybe like an evening snack. My evening snacks are the only time I taste anything sweet, because that's when, if I'm gonna have a big glycemic jump, that's what it's gonna be. When I mean sweet, that's fruit, sweet potato, something whole food, maybe yogurt, like maybe dairy, like on rare occasions. I eat cheese on stuff, but like just actual whole thing of dairy. rare occasions with a little protein powder still. That's a treat to me, you know. But it's normally like a sweet potato with just some cinnamon heated up in the microwave with a little bit of butter. That's a sweet. Once you're not taking in sweets, like I don't. That's like I really don't do. That becomes very, very, very sweet. And so now I've gotten all my nutrition. I do take I take Immortal from Mark's brand. It's a fucking fabulous fucking one a day. It's a one a day vitamin, but it's also probiotic, all sorts of shit, you know. So just to mask any holes, I supplement vitamin D. That, you know, that's when I take my vitamin D. That's when I take my vitamin A, stuff like that too, you know. And I just I literally watch out for my hunger and my health. So I try to avoid any cravings by making sure I have no micronutrient holes. That's the purpose of a very, very, very good thought out multivitamin. And then I make sure I prioritize my amino acids and my essential fatty acids, because those are essential, and there's no essential carbohydrates. I still take in likely, you know, 150 grams of carbohydrates in a day, somewhere in there. Like, I'm not keto, but I use keto principles all day long. I use like intermittent fasting keto principles all day long, just to avoid hunger, until if I do eat something sweet and it triggers my hunger, I'm about to go to bed.
Right.
And for me, controlling my hunger, especially with stress and stuff like that, as a binge eater, that's the fucking key.
Totally.
Yeah. So it's worked out really, really well. Like my weight came down naturally, like absolutely naturally, to 190. Like I enjoy everything I eat. The other thing I do that I think that other people should start doing, I'm not against sugar or processed carbohydrates. I'm not. Like, I still ingest them. I just started looking at them much more like alcohol than food. Like, there's no nutritional advantage to processed sugar or processed carbohydrates. None. Like people can act like there is, but there's none. You're always better off ingesting natural sugars associated with natural fiber. When you think about sugar in nature, it's always found in either very small quantities, think berries, right? Or when it's found in larger quantities, it's normally associated with high levels of fiber too. Pineapple, banana, papaya, mango, those sorts of things. So it's still better off to take it that way. But if you are going to take that stuff in, like I still do, it's like with the thought of, okay, that's as bad for me as alcohol. You know, if I indulge or overindulge, it needs to be on very rare occasion, because I got shit to do and I want to live a long time, right? Sure. And that framework has helped me so much. And we're putting things like 30 minutes a day of sleep prep. People don't do it. It's insane. We are so radically under-rested in society. Well, when you're tired, you have less impulse control. Your cortisol levels are up, so your stress hormones are up. You're going to be hungrier. Like, so let's treat, like, the whole principle that I've been doing for this last 8 months is I just started treating myself really good. I started drinking less. I started drinking more water. I started fucking getting better sleep. For me, sleep is a huge thing. Huge thing, because I'm ADHD and I'm fucking super hyper, and I fucking, you know, we cut down my coffee consumption. Like, this is the latest I've drank coffee in a while, but we cut down coffee consumption dramatically. You know, I started making, like, I eat 95% whole proteins, vegetables, fruits that I cook myself on the grill. You know, so it's this. I just started treating myself really, really good, making sure I'm sleeping good. Dedicate 30 minutes a day to sleep prep. Is the room temperature right? Are your pillows fluffed? Have you taken a nice shower? Do you feel comfortable? Are you in your favorite pajamas? Or if you like to sleep naked, find a way to sleep naked. Like, what like, if you need noise. If you need fan. Like, make sure everything is set for you to get the best night fucking sleep you fucking can every single day. Then wake up, make sure you guarantee your hydration. We are radically dehydrated. So once I started doing that, skin got better. Like, your skin will come. If you're worried about stretch marks, and if you're worried about loose skin, your skin would come back a lot better if you were fucking hydrated. You know, I mean, it's like it's weird. People ignore the very, very basics. And that's what we've done. And then 30 minutes a day, no matter what, dedicate to activity. I don't care if it's just walking around the block, but at least 30 minutes a day, no matter what, period. And then I normally get like a workout on top of that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And then like now, because I'm testing our thing with Yohembine, I'm going to probably get at least 2 a day. Like, so just the 30 minutes and then a full workout. I'm going to work out after this, and I've already done about 30 minutes of yoga earlier. So, but it's just like the idea is as long as I'm rested, as long as I keep my stress levels down, 30 minutes a day to de-stress no matter what. I'm trying to like make sure that the people in my life around me are happy, because positivity is positivity. Like little things, like I started give my wife a kiss on the neck and cheek and stuff like that every morning. Like I give her a kiss, a second long kiss every day for every year she's been alive plus one. So that way every year it'll just be more kisses.
I bet that has some additional benefits.
It has great benefits, you know. But if anything, like I tell you what, I mean, like real dudes understand this. Like, there's no better way to start your day off than seeing the smile of the woman you love. None, you know. Like, and then I set my life up to be happy, you know. Like, and one of my things was I was really like I tried to stay silent for a little while last year, and like I couldn't. Like, I'm not wired like that. So I sat down with the wife and I was like, you know, I'm about to say some shit that's probably gonna fucking hurt us or could hurt us. The thing was though, it truly didn't. It just like changed directions of shit. You know, like
Yeah.
I just like my thing is like this. Like I'm still probably gonna do comedy, like because I'm just a fucking sarcastic asshole. I'll do that whenever I want to or feel like it. And I'll try to make shit funny for everybody, because I think that sometimes even if somebody thinks what I'm saying is mean, other people find humor in it. You know.
Sure.
And I don't give a fuck about her. Like people are so easily offended right now. For people like me who sometimes have no, like, it's what's amazing is for society to try to be so accepting. It seems like we've forgotten about like people that have low impulse control and shit like that too. Like, you're gonna have to accept me for me then, motherfuckers, because I can't stop telling you if I think you're stupid. You know, like I just can't.
Yeah.
And what I find fucked up about like our industry, especially. Man, if you'll just say anything you want your audience to hear, that means you lie. like because like we're like a huge portion about what we people like me and you and Mark and people that actually give a fuck about people's fitness and health. Most of what we do is trying to break it to people the shit they're doing wrong. Most of the time we got to tell people, no, you're not awesome. You know, like, and I think that's a huge problem with society. It's been a problem with society for a long time, and it's just a big manifestation. You know, like cancel culture. I saw cancel culture like 2 years before anybody, I think, with fat acceptance. They tried to cancel, like they've deleted fucking Instagram pages of mine through mass reporting. They've labeled me a racist for fucking years. I mean, which is like anybody that's ever met me. Like, it's so fucking insane, you know? And we decided it's time to like, I couldn't look at myself anymore without being like, I'm gonna just go at this full barrel because what the fuck, man? Like, it's so disappointing, you know. Like, and again, I don't dislike these people, you know, but like, you know, I find it like so disingenuous now. Like, I have a harder time believing like in our friendships and stuff like that sometimes, I think. And then
I told my wife all the time, like, you know, 2020 is a line in the sand for me. Now, you say you saw cancel culture coming. I did too, in different ways. I'm big into fatherhood, and I come from a messed up fatherhood chain, right? Of just terrible fathers for many years. Yeah. But I saw it coming from that direction, right? Yeah. Where it was like participation trophies, right?
Oh, I'm a parent, like I'm like the most humanly toxic person there is. Like I'm like the embodiment of somehow of toxic masculinity.
Sure.
You know, like I really am. Like I'm the meathead tattooed up and like the fucking the swearing all the time and shit like that, and like the shit they said. And I speak up about shit like the same shit you're talking about there too. Mark does that shit too. Mark's like, that's one of the things like I think that's fucked up. Like, people have gone after Mark's kids and shit like that before too. Fucked up. Like, you people are fucking
evil.
You know, first of all, like, it's so hard. Like, I still don't understand. Like, people do not get the amount of success he has compared to who they think is successful in the fitness industry. You know, it's this thing where, so when he doesn't give a shit, then they go after his kids. I'm just like, what the fuck? How'd society get like that? You know, like, God damn.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, he's such a good example with it. Like, if he didn't before in the past, he openly admits shit like that, but he's like good, like he's like coaches his kids soccer teams and fucking shit like that. Like, what the fuck? You know, like that's manhood. And I've been speaking about that lately too. It's like what real men shit. Like real men open the door for their wives, unless their wife insists to get it themselves. You know, and I still always fucking offer. And if that makes me a fucking toxic masculine person, great. You know, because like fuck, like my son's not biologically mine, and I fucking you know. But this is like I chose to be a father. I fucking chose to, and I just don't understand how people can get the best gift ever and not take it seriously. Like my son works for a company. He's my best friend besides my wife. Like he's 21 years old. I bought him his first beer when he was 21. Like he's my best friend besides my wife. And that was my goal. Like that as fatherhood, like to still be his dad and be able to be in his life. Like it is this thing where he's still with us every day. He learns from us every day, shows proper respect, does his own thing, completely his own individual, doesn't look anything like me because we're not related, but does like we're not blood related, but he's my son, Sure. And what pisses me off is that you see a lot of these fucking people act like, trying to instill value, like manly values is this thing because we can't have gender anymore. I'm sorry, people, like you can identify with that. And here's what I always say. Like I identify whatever you want. Good. I'm fine. That's you, but if, because it's like me and you do have lots of different places. But I'm atheist or stuff like that. Like I believe biology and science. So I believe if you want to choose to identify as something else, that's a choice that you're choosing, and I will honor your choice. However, if I walk up to you and say, sir, because you visually, in my opinion, look like a man to me, but you want to be referred to as a woman, to be upset with me because I couldn't read your fucking mind, holds no water with me. You're upset at me for no reason, so therefore it doesn't upset me. Like if you or anybody else would not want to honor their request and just call them by the biological sex they were born, I can't hold that against you either. To me, that's what's called equality. Like where I judge people no matter what based on the same thing. So if somebody wants me to look at their sex in a different way or look at their whatever in a different way, okay. If I choose to, great. If somebody else chooses not to, they're fine too. Like if it's biology, it's biology. And I remember when we first met, like the first thing you did was start talking about your family. So to me, that's awesome. I just think the lines are redrawn to the point where it's like people, like there's like 3 or 4 groups of people, but there's people that give a fuck, period, about like the country and people and health and everything like that. There's people that want to burn all that shit the fuck down, and then there's people that just want to kind of make money off whatever they can fucking do, and they don't give a fuck about anybody else but them. I can't blame the people on the outskirts because they're just doing their thing and but they are still hurting people by not telling them the fucking truth.
Yeah, I mean, I agree 100%. I think in today's crazy world, and I'm not just talking about America, even though I do think America is.
Oh, we're the top crazy. That's what we're number one in.
Yeah, we have the most publicized issues in the world, right? Yeah. Because we're stupid in a lot of ways, and we fight amongst ourselves. Do
you think we're too big?
I've thought about that recently for the first time, actually.
Like, what do I like? You've been to where I live right now. Mm-hmm. What do I have in common with somebody that wants to live in Portland?
It's a great question, right?
Like, why should there and this is no shit. This isn't like to be mean to them, but if they want to live that way, as long as I don't have to live that way, I don't care how to fucking live. But to actually try to govern what happens in Portland, Oregon, and what happens in Cape Coral, Florida, is fucking ridiculous. If you choose to live in the environment of Portland, Oregon, I'm not going to say I have anything. I cannot possibly agree with burning buildings down of other people's property because you're upset that somebody else, not that person, did anything. I think you're a fucking domestic terrorist personally. But if they're okay with it, great. But if you're going to allow that shit, if you're just going to allow that shit,
Yeah.
That's it. And then all of a sudden somebody that is just allowed to do that hops on a plane and ends up in Florida and does that shit and ends up with a hole in them. It's not the Florida person's fault. And it's not even really, in my mind, it's not even the person that flew over here to fucking do its fault. It's the fact that we are acting like this is the same country. And so we're telling these people who are losing their fucking minds in Portland, Oregon, that what they're doing is okay because we let them do it every fucking day. And then they think that it's okay because they're still in the United States and they try to do it someplace else. You know, these people are clearly stupid. So, I mean, they're clearly dumb, you know, so they're going to assume they can do this shit everywhere. It's the problem with the internet too. The problem with the anonymity of the internet, and I've seen this happen with the younger generation, like me and you, like I'm substantially older than you, but you're probably the last generation that came up thinking like, if I talk shit in person, I'm gonna get fucking punched in the face. And that's gonna be the fucking end of it. Like we're gonna fucking scrap and we're gonna settle it, or I'm gonna get my ass beat, or I'm gonna beat his ass. But if people talk shit, they mostly did it in person, and then shit got settled. Now people can talk mad shit, crazy shit they'd never say in person to anybody, to people that they would definitely never even think about saying shit to. And the problem is when they are in that world too long, they take that shit to the real world, you know? And when you fucking let that behavior happen in the real world, you get Portland, Oregon.
Yeah, we're living in I call it the Ready Player One world, right?
Yeah.
Where people think virtual reality is reality. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not. And I say it all the time. I think the only path forward, if you really want to find pure happiness, I simplify it right now. I think our two biggest issues are fatherhood and fitness.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Because there's no leadership, and that goes from the top down in every governmental branch, right? There's not strong leadership. I don't care what anybody says, there's not, right? So that trickles down to every level of society where toxic masculinity has been the headline for however long now, and it's ruining homes where it's proven. I mean, like you talk about data, it's proven that kids that come from a fatherless home are so much likely to struggle, so much more likely. And that's a knock on mothers, by the way.
No, fuck no.
Mothers are being asked to do way too much, by the way.
When I met my wife, my wife worked all night. Like she was living by herself all fucking night to pay the bills. You know, working at restaurants, waiting tables, then going to a night shift at a fucking nightclub. Would stay awake until she would take our son to grade school, to kindergarten. And then, no shit, she would fucking just do the housework and shit like that and cook and shit like that until he fucking had to go pick him up. Like she slept like fucking 2 hours a goddamn day for like months as a single mom. And to barely make ends meet because now she's got to pay the fucking childcare to go to fucking work. So that's like fucking crazy amounts of money every fucking week too. So like a single mom, like, dude, they're fucking, if it's immensely harder. Like single parenting, I shouldn't even say single mom. Single parenting is immensely harder and massively more expensive. And yeah, I mean, it's insane, right?
Really,
dudes like and this is my thing. Like there are several types of dudes. There are dudes that like can't wait to have kids, should be good parents. And there's dudes that should never be dads. Okay, like I take fatherhood so seriously. You know, like it drives me crazy when people don't. And I've met guys that will date women with children, like date them long term and never plan to get married. And like I'm like, okay, do you plan on being with them forever? Well, you know, I don't. Dude, you're in a child's life. Okay, at least let them know. But if the child's looking at you as like a fucking father figure, be a fucking father. Like the second a child looks at any fucking real man as a father figure, you should never leave that child's life. Ever. Like once that attachment is made, you should just in some way try to guarantee that you will do the best you can to fulfill the ideology of what they have, because you're forming how their opinion of how men should treat fucking women.
Sure.
You know, and like
it's crazy because you know what? Here's the funny part. So people, when you talk about this topic, right, of dads not being around and it's a problem, it's causing a lot of problems. Immediately society's reaction is that you are knocking women. Here's the thing though. We're actually knocking guys way more. We're like, you guys aren't showing up. And this is why things are happening.
Dude, step to the plate.
It's exactly like,
dude. My son
walking on
came
the
in.
sidewalk.
My son came in the other day, and because his my son's girlfriend is getting one of the vaccines because she's high risk. Like it actually makes sense, right? So, but they're talking about like, well, it's no big deal because you know he was like, you stepped into my life, we'll just adopt. That's what people need to see. I was so proud, dude. Like, fuck. But that's what people need to see, right? Like, it's fatherhood. Take it seriously, motherfuckers. Like, it drives me fucking crazy. You know, like it's so bad. Like when we see society, it's literally the reason. Like, I just to like feel like the feeling of abandonment from a child. Like, okay, this kid, you're dating this kid's mom. And here's the thing, real quick before I get anything else, right? If you're upfront and say, look, I'm not looking for anything serious. I don't want to be a dad. I don't necessarily like think know if we're gonna be around forever. If the dude says that and you still date him, and like, okay, like accept that. At least like I respect men like that because that's a man thing to do. Too often dudes will leave women alone to get pussy because they're weak ass men anyway, and then they step out of the child's life. That's fucked up, dudes. Like, I mean, like if you need to prey on somebody's emotions to try to get them to fucking sleep with you, first of all, you're a fucking maggot. You know what I mean? Like, you really are. You're like, I'm sorry, but do better as a man. You'll get laid better. You'll get laid more often. But if you need to fucking do that to basically lead a fucking single mom on along, that there might be something fucking going on where she's looking for somebody to be in her life for stability, and you lead her on, you deserve a fucking ass beat.
Totally.
And I hope her brother gives it to you. Like shit. But it's a huge thing.
It's crazy, and you look at fatherhood or lack thereof, and fitness and lack thereof, and all the issues that everybody wants to yell and scream about, and from gun control to quote unquote police brutality and all these things. I say, look, if you really, and I'm not saying there isn't a tiny bit of truth in some cases, right? But what I am saying is if you look at the underlying issues, it always comes back to, and when we talk about fitness, I don't just mean looking good. I mean your brain working well, right? Because your body and your brain are intertwined. It works together. And lack of paternal leadership always leads to destruction. Going back, whether you're atheist or not, going back to biblical times.
Oh yeah, biblical times.
Always the case. It's always the case.
Yeah, I used to say shit like this, and like the internet just fucking hated me for so long. But now I'm just like to the point where like, okay, but like a huge problem in society right now is that we don't drink from the skulls of our enemies anymore. I mean, I say that all the time. People are like, that's ridiculous. No, if you think about it, okay, because we don't respect each other at all, like whatsoever. The distance is great. It's brought a lot of people closer together. It's made the world a lot smaller if you think about it. But we've never been farther apart. You know what I mean? Like we don't respect each other whatsoever. Like people will say horrible, nasty, vile shit to people that they wouldn't say in person. And that's just the times. And I don't think we'll ever go back to that. I don't think that genie is out of the bottle. And for people that are very weak-minded and weak in nature, like people, and I know people are gonna be like, well, you talk shit online. Yeah, but I've literally, like, if you don't think that every fitness event I show up to, I'm not majority hated by the people around me, you're wrong.
I've met you in person at an event where everyone literally hated you.
Hated me.
Like they said before you show up to me, because I was the only fitness guy there, they were like, there's another guy coming, but he's kind of a dick.
Yeah. I mean,
okay, like here we are years later, still buddies.
And I truly think that Aaron invited me to get me to balk, to be like, oh no, like, but I was like, fuck yeah, I'll be there. I'm down, motherfucker. And he was like, I'll pay for your hotel. I'm like, no, I got that. like you just pay for my ticket to come in. That's all I want. Yeah. And I still talk to him all the time too. But that's me. Dude, look at my face. Does it look like I haven't gotten my ass kicked before? Like, I mean, like, come on, I've been hit in the face with baseball bats. I have a fracture. I got my skull fracture from a mag light. Dude, like I've taken an ass kicking before. To me, that's part of being a man. You know what I mean? I always like those other dudes too. Like, I've never taken an ass beat. No, you haven't been. You've been in one fight.
You need to find that ass beat.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's important for every man. Like I remember when I was like 16 years old and I was in judo and stuff like that, and I was badass. I was like fucking 140 pounds and fucking had abs. I was fucking, my mouth off to my dad, and my dad was like, my dad. You've met me. I've got broad shoulders, no matter how big I am. Like just bone structure. And my dad is 70, like 8 or something like that. 70, no, 70, 77. I don't know. I can still stand behind him and you can't see me. Like his shoulders are fucking, my grandfather's shoulders were like double wide casket big. It's like fucking just genetics, you know? Yeah. And, but so I'm like, my dad is like at the time working on bridges, like lugging around hundreds of pounds of steel every day, eating fucking meat, potatoes, and beer every day. Like he's enormous. And we step out into the fucking backyard. He's like, all right, bring it. So I'm like fucking Billy Badass, right? And I'm fucking kicking at him and fucking punching him and like that. He fucking thunder punches me right in the fucking chest, you know, fucking empties my lungs. And I just fucking collapse. And he was like, what did you learn, boy? And I was like, you're tougher than me. He's like, good job. Fucking goes inside the house. Fucking ass kicking I needed. Because the way I equate it to this is I also know a kid who never got his ass beaten because everybody always fucking jumped in to fucking save him. Me and all my friends jumped in to save him his entire fucking high school life, you know? And back then, when I was growing up in the fucking 80s, in high school, like we would weekly fight the other high schools. Like it's like parents didn't get called. Fucking, if you came home with a black eye, your parents were like, what's the other kid look like? You know, shit like that, right? And you know, back then it was just a little fucking different. We worked out our fucking problems. Like I'm still like some of the people that I'm friends with the longest have been people whose asses have either kicked mine or I've kicked theirs, you know? And we weren't like, if there was confrontation, we said it to each other, you know? And I think that that's just missed, you know, when there's no repercussions. We had a friend of mine from when I was growing up, we always protected him. He's a tiny little guy, everything like that. Went off to fucking college, fucking fraternity brothers fucking protected him. He grew away from us and like fucking turns 21, fucking out in a bar, gets fucking beaten to fucking death for being a total dickhead to some guy's girlfriend. You know, like he missed his ass kicking. And I mean, I know that sounds weird to say, but like maybe he wouldn't have talked so much shit, which I was friends with the guy, and I'm telling you, that's what, like, it's fucked up shit like that. Like, and I think society's gotten so soft. Like, dude, you see the hate I get for saying facts, like literally like facts. Like, hey, obesity kills you. Like, I mean, death threats. Dude, this last year, when I told people we should not lock down, we should just protect the elderly. Like, I'm talking like people sending me fucking death threats.
Wow.
Like death threats. Like, I will fucking come kill you. Blah, 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 blah. Like, you know, and when I get that shit, I always like try to fucking video phone them, you know, but they never pick up. But.
Of course not. Yeah. I mean, well, facts, especially now, they bring out the worst in people because there's so much buried pain. There's so much buried, suppressed emotion. There's so much suppressed personal responsibility, right? Nobody wants to take personal responsibility anymore. Those days are dying.
That's why when you tell obese people that they should lose weight, they know that it is a like a flashcard of the personal responsibility that they've been shirking, you know. And it's not to say like I deal almost exclusively client-wise with morbidly obese people trying to get better habits, right? Yeah. Doctors, lawyers, politicians, like, I mean, musicians, like successful people, not lazy people, right? They just have such a poor relationship with food that society has both told them that it's perfectly okay, but that they're in complete denial of. You know, people make themselves type 2 diabetic, go on prescription medications, spend hundreds more dollars a month on prescription medications for being type 2 diabetic, and still fucking eat sugar and are still fucking overweight. It's like, because we've normalized it. We have normalized disrespect towards each other. We have normalized fathers not being in the home. We have normalized, here's my thing, coupling parent household, like at least, you know, parenting, you hear the term, it takes a tribe. It does. Like, I mean, because it's a lot of fucking work, and it's the most important thing you'll ever fucking do, you know? And it's, again, it's not a knock against single parents. It's a knock against society for like the people that actually advocate like for like against like deadbeat dads and shit like that act like they do from Hollywood, like all the fucking movie stars and all this shit like that. Like, but Hollywood also portrays people like single moms as train wrecks. Like, I mean, they portray their life in a way that people would not want to fucking be involved in it, you know? And when in reality, their lives aren't really train wrecks. They're just fucking trying to survive most of the fucking time.
Right.
You know, like, I mean, the whole image of every single mom is a shitty fucking mom or on drugs or fucking hates all men and stuff like that. Most single moms don't hate all men, especially if they're raising a son. If they hated men, it'd be a real fucking problem. You know, like it's just so, I find the same thing. I know a couple of single dads, like where the mom's checked out. Like, I mean, and that used to never fucking happen.
Oh, I do too. Yep.
And that used to never, ever, ever happen. But now society's even got to the point where like, and they just fucking leave. Like, it's just like, dudes, like, I don't, like, man, like, I'm never leaving my kid. Like, I mean, shit, we plan on buying property and building a house so he can have a fucking house on it. Like, I don't get it, you know, like, that's the dream. And I agree with you. I think it's a huge issue. I think that like the mental health and physical health go hand in hand, of course, you know, and we're never going to have healthy relationships with each other when we're not healthy with ourselves at all.
Totally.
You know?
Well, it's always a pleasure having you on the show, man. I know
you're
valuable. You're a busy guy.
My pleasure, man. I tell you what, I'll talk with Mark and maybe we'll have you on the ADHD hour.
I would love to, man. That would be incredible.
Yeah.
What else do you have working right now? What are you guys doing project wise?
Project wise, I'm writing the second book. The first book was an Amazon bestseller, which is cool. And we still do coaching mostly. I mean, like we're hot and heavy individualized coaching every single day. You go to damncollective.com, check that out. We do an accountability coaching, which is like every other day, and then a regular coaching every single day, weekly video conference calls, just to make adjustments, talk people through their hunger issues. We do definitely focus more on that. I don't do the whole powerlifting or get people strong or get people lean shit ever. I'm able to do it for myself, but I think I'm a much better lifestyle and weight loss coach than I am fucking that coaching. I mean, I'm so not interested in that stuff anymore. I just don't know why. It seems so petty. Like it seems so petty. Like the whole natty or not video, it just seems so petty. Like,
yeah, I don't even know how people get into that stuff, man.
I don't even know. But
world.
Yeah. But so we're still taking clients on coaching. And we do have a few other things. Like I said, we're working on a dietary aid to help people manage their hunger a lot better. We're going to be starting up some new shit with that. And we'll be putting out the hunger management method before we put out the book. We'll be putting out the method, like actually just a bullet point method on a website for free, probably going to put some ads on it. But that's going to come along with the nutritional aid. And then after that, like I said, I'm working on this thing I'm just working on this little thing for a month or two with our supplement, Your Head by HCL, which like, I think the coolest thing for me about that thing is like I'm actually able to just like really look at my nutrition in a different way without hunger and just like almost pick it apart to just highly flavorful food I like that is good for me, which is neat. The Head by HCL, the last time I tried it, it made me really, 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 really sick, like almost like flu-like, and this isn't at all. So it's great.
Wow.
And I'm up to the clinical dose I'm supposed to take. And I'll probably release some stuff like that. Like I said, I'll probably be like the first ever shirtless pictures of me. That's been such a weird thing for me because I just never thought that's not who I want to be associated with. One, I'm almost fucking 50, right? Sure. And two, to me, it's like this weird thing no matter what, right? So if I get in really, 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 really good shape and I'm 50 years old, does that mean any fucking thing? Seeing as how my entire job, knowledge base and all like that is based around doing this. You know, so if I were like, I mean, because I'm like pretty fucking lean right now. I'm down to like the fucking like thin skin, you know, like I'm getting there without even trying. And it's like this thing, like I'm almost 50, but at the same time, I've dedicated X amount of years to this. So
sure. I think my argument would just be that you're not doing it for vanity's sake. Right.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it at the end of this thing, just to show the difference between body fat from one time to another using the both things. That's it. Because like at the end of the day, I finally fucking did it. Honestly.
The analogy I use, man, is like there's a lot of shitty lawyers out there. Pardon my French. I don't curse like you, but there's a lot of bad lawyers, right?
Yeah.
And you know, there's a lot of bad fitness professionals who maybe can't stay in shape or even apply the knowledge that they supposedly have. So when I see someone like yourself, especially as a guy, I'm in my late 30s. So I'm like, hey, I want to stay healthy and fit forever. Even though I know what I'm doing, it still takes effort, right?
Yeah.
So I think more guys, especially older guys who are like, hey, I'm not trying to show off or anything, but it's like, dude, that inspires the heck out of guys, right? Who are like, hey, I need to get my butt in gear and get it moving.
The biggest thing that I've done, like physique wise for what 40 and up, like the fucked up shit, like the heavy lifting was just pounded on my body. It just was. And I had great squat form. I for being that big, I did it as best I could, but it's just not good for you. And I had some pre-existing injuries, like my right knee's pretty fucked. It's why I wouldn't squat without reps. Like I wouldn't squat anything more than 315 without reps. But like my thing is I reduced the risk reward ratio dramatically for probably 90% of my training. So for 90% of the year, I pretty much train very low weight, high rep, 3-second eccentric, 1-second isometric squeeze, time under tension, very short rest period, minimal weight. So I use very short rest periods to keep my heart rate up, to burn as many calories as I can to be optimal, and work on my cardiovascular health at the same time while I'm working on basically hypertrophy with time under tension, everything I can, right? And then like the other 10% of the year, I do like higher impact box jump training, stuff like that, right? And it's just because I want to keep my athleticism level up to a certain degree, but I also believe that muscle fibers need to be exploded, to a certain degree for to help out. So every 6 months or so, I do like a block of box jumps, everything like that, blah, blah, blah. And to me, it's more about preventative care than anything. If you take care, if younger dudes, like for you, right? You, when you're my age, if you're intelligent and smart about it, you'll look 10 times better than I ever did at this age, and probably be, at your absolute genetic maximum, still lean body mass. And you could look like your body could look better than it does right now easily. One, you're young enough where the skin that you had from being bigger is going to come back as much as it can. Especially if you treat it right, good collagen in your system. Make sure you take a good multivitamin. Hydration is what we said, right? But also, your testosterone levels is because you eat healthy and you have a good, healthy micronutrient makeup, especially with high in protein, and still essential fatty acids and stuff like that, like good fat content. Your testosterone levels are going to stay probably higher because you resistance train and for longer than most other guys, right? Because I'm on an estrogen block right now for my doctor. That's it. That's all. Right? I used to take DHEA and DIM, but now my testosterone levels are fucking right mid-range, for especially high for my age group, because my diet's so good, right? And you'll stay that way. So the muscle that you would build every single year, as long as you stay consistent without injury and watching your nutrition, would be greatly more than most people, or greatly more than I did, because I oftentimes took periodization off, and then I didn't push myself. And I purposely downsized from an unnatural state because I use DHEA, right? So I'm probably my lean mass is probably down to about 169, 170. I don't fucking know. I don't fucking care either. I'd say maybe 160, somewhere in there. And I'm happy about it because I wanted to fucking lose the weight, right? But if you keep going, your lean mass could just keep going up and up. And that's where probably in your 40s, you'll probably reach a point where you're at your genetic maximum. And that's where supplementation becomes much more important, especially because as you get older, then you need to supplement a little bit more micronutrients too, because absorption issues, everything like that. And that is the actual issue. Your protein absorption issues go down every 10 years, it's 10%. So you increase your protein a little bit more, make sure your micronutrients a little bit more, and your testosterone levels kind of stay up, And you should, if guys take it seriously earlier, prevention is health. 50 could easily be the new 30 for you. You know what I mean? As avoiding injury, stuff like that. you only get more mobile and you only get more athletic as long, you know, especially if you have really good nutrition. True injury, like the shit that think about all your injuries. It has been from athletic style training. Very few people just pop a fucking tendon just like fucking doing 8 to, you know, medium reps, low weight, good time and attention. You know, that shit doesn't happen. It's always when you athletically train. Like blown knees aren't blown out normally from squatting. It's the damage done doing other shit. Or if you're a serious big power lifter, you know, like it's just fucking having 1,000 pounds on your back. But that's the thing. Like if people would just be smarter than I was for so many fucking years, like what I've done is super fucking attainable. Like this is super attainable. If I wouldn't have like fucked myself for years in the, you know, ego-driven fucking bullshit of trying to be the strongest dude in the fucking room, you know, for no fucking reason. I'm so fucking lucky. I mean, I'm so lucky, dude. Like I used to wear a shirt that says, if I don't think about my insurance, it's not heavy enough. Written on the back for when I squatted. It's the stupidest shit ever. Like I might as well wear a picture of my penis on the back of my fucking shirt. You know, like it's dumb, you know? And once you put that ego away, I was like, man, like if I would have just focused that type of training on just being in optimal like physical health, what could I do? How would I feel? Like, and that's I think about that more than anything right now, dude. Like, how would I feel? Like if I wouldn't have done the extra. But I know I'm probably keeping you, dude. Like,
no, you're good, man.
You know,
I always love chatting with you, brother. It's amazing.
Amazing. Have fun with Mark later. and then when you're on with us together, like we're a lot. I like we have Kenny KO and Big Boy Cannon on tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
And they're getting ready to fight at the Rumble in the Borough thing. And like I don't know how it's gonna work because me and Mark are a lot. Like together, like we're a fucking lot. Like a lot. So
we'll have to get up in person too this year, man. I'm always game.
Yeah. Whenever you're down here, dude, I'm not going up there.
No.
So whenever you're down here,
I don't want you to come up here. I'm going down.
I'm not going up there. Fuck that. They'll close it. All of a sudden, they'll fucking close shit.
Totally. All right, man.
All right, man.
Hey, be safe. I'll talk to you soon, brother. And appreciate you coming on, man.
Thanks a lot. Talk soon.
You got it.